fight could really be a major fight that a lot of people are looking to see. When did you know that?
When the people start talking, and obviously everybody around try to make this fight. I say, look, needs to be big.
This fight doesn't happen if you're never born, right? You made this fight happen. Why this fight?
Not me. It is who behind me.
I like Crawford. Get right to it.
Why?
Because he's like the first time you went from regular TV, which you've been doing a long time, to 3D. He's different. Really, that's the simplest.
The showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez delivered exactly what fans expected. Canelo admitted the fight was too big to pass up, and though he first declined, the overwhelming demand turned it into a historic occasion. With the world watching two champions collide, the atmosphere showed this was more than just a fight, it was a global event.
I take this fight because you can see how big is this fight, no? The beginning when they say, hey, you thinking about fight Crawford, I say, never thinking about that. But you can realize how big is this fight, no? Mexican, always Mexican versus USA is big. And two of the best pound for pound. And I think this fight is huge and means a lot for me.
When did you realize, when did the moment hit you that this fight can really, really be big? This fight can really be a major fight that a lot of people are looking to see. When did you know that?
When the people start talking, and obviously everybody around try to make this fight. I say, look, needs to be big, right? Because Netflix, Riyadh season, everybody interested in this fight. So that's when I realized how big is this fight.
Crawford felt like initially you needed some convincing because you thought it was a lose-lose proposition, whereas you're fighting the smaller guy, and if you won, you wouldn't really get any credit for it. Was that what you were thinking?
Yeah, but if you think well, I've been in that position.
Saudi advisor and chairman Turki Al-Sheikh explained after the fight that the event was about more than boxing. It was about creating a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. He stressed how special it was for fans, especially with the chance that this could be Terence Crawford's final appearance on such a stage. For Turki, hosting the bout before a global audience held deep meaning, showcasing two legends at their peak while preserving a piece of boxing history that will be cherished for generations.
My country and my boss, you know? But really, if you look at as a business, this fight will not happen if we are not involved. As Gia, Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia, this is truth. Because even with what the relationship with Netflix, and we are very happy about it, still this fight costs more and more.
Speaking of cost more and more, for everyone who watches it, everyone already has a Netflix account, so they're not paying anything extra for it.
Yeah.
You, however, are the guy who just paid hundreds of millions of dollars for a pay-per-view fight that you wanted to see. So people like to get their money's worth. What do you want to see from this fight?
First, not what I want to see, what all the people around the world, and you are fans of boxing, want to see. It's taken too long, but thanks God, without the support behind me from my government, my leaders, the Crown Prince and the vision, and without the love of the fans, we will stop not complete. This is what pushed us. This kind of fight, special Canelo Crawford, I want to explain it to you exactly why it is important and the fight of the century. Canelo is the biggest name in boxing now, and Crawford undefeated and have the chance to be undisputed for the third time. Maybe this is the last fight for Crawford, and for Canelo, it's mean a lot for his fan in North America and South America and all the world. He doesn't want to get beating from guy getting up 2-3 weight.
Renowned trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas, speaking with ESPN host Stephen A. Smith, praised Terence Crawford even before the opening bell of the historic clash. Atlas drew a vivid comparison, calling Crawford the boxing equivalent of a leap from 3D to digital, a metaphor for his sharpness and elevated skill set. He highlighted Crawford's adaptability, precision, and calm demeanor as traits that separate him from nearly every other fighter today. Once Crawford entered the ring, those words proved accurate. His seamless switches between orthodox and southpaw, his quick reads of opponents, and his rapid adjustments showcased why so many analysts had placed faith in him. His composure under the brightest spotlight, against one of the most decorated champions of the era, reinforced his evolution into a complete fighter. For fans worldwide, the performance mirrored exactly what Atlas had described, a boxer redefining the sport at its highest level. Crawford's display was not just about punches, it was about advancing the art of boxing and leaving audiences with the sense they had witnessed a new chapter in the sport's legacy.
And then that was good. It was cool. VHS, VCR, all that stuff. I still got them, actually. And all of a sudden, digital came around.
There you go.
He's digital. Really. And I'm not knocking Canelo for all the people out there that, want to pull their arrows now and start slinging shots at me. Hey, that's okay. That's fine. But I'm not knocking him. He's a good, solid guy. He's
Good,
tremendous.
solid guy. He's 63-2, Teddy, and has never been knocked out. And this guy
Wait,
that's
what's
fighting him
his
is
record?
moving up 63-2.
Wait, what's his record?
63-2.
By who's accounting?
What do you mean by who's account? What are you trying to say? That's
what
you
am I
said.
trying to say? There's a couple fights there that you might be able to argue there. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Starting with Triple G. Just a little bit. A little bit, I mean, you're insulting him a little bit. Like in a movie with De Niro.
I'm not insulting him. I'm pointing out the facts. But here's my point to you, Teddy. He's 63-2.
Lara, how about the Lara fight?
Hold on.
You want to go back further?
Okay. What about Madrimov with Crawford? I'm just saying.
No, he beat Madrimov. He didn't look the way we want him to look.
Okay.
Because stepping up for the first time to that weight class, he didn't look the way that we wanted to say, oh my God.
Well, stay with me. Let me ask you this question.
And Madrimov was not getting the credit for the kind of fighter that he was.
But let me ask you a question, Teddy Atlas. He didn't look the way you wanted him to look, moving up from 147 to 154. Now he's going from 154 to two weight classes to 168 against a guy who's 11-0 at the 168-pound limit and is entering his 12th fight undefeated and has never been knocked out.
Yeah. VHS digital. Did you worry about that jump when you went from VHS to digital? No, you just said we're at digital now, and it looks good. It looks really good, and you look great. No, you do.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You look tremendous.
Well, I'm just saying. Listen, I believe in Crawford too, and I believe that Crawford is one of the top two fighters on the planet. But he is moving up two weight classes, and when people look at him going up against Canelo, here's what they're saying. He's got to keep his distance. He's got to hit, stick, and move. He can't stay in front of him.
Canelo Alvarez, the four-division world champion, stepped into the fight with his future already set. He has openly said he plans to retire within the next 2 years, having accomplished nearly every dream a fighter could chase. From unifying titles to headlining packed stadiums, his legacy is already secure. Against Crawford, his performance showed not only his lasting skill but also his determination to cement his place among boxing's immortals. His focus was no longer on what he could gain, but on how he would be remembered once the gloves came off.
I don't know, maybe 2 more.
2 more years.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to accomplish that you haven't yet accomplished?
I already accomplished everything.
So there's
and I did
nothing
everything in boxing. Yeah. So I'm fine.
When this is all over for you, maybe in 2 years from now, what do you want to be remembered for?
One of the greatest fighters in the boxing history. That's why I'm here. That's why I start boxing. So I'm doing good.
I think you've already accomplished that.
Yeah.
Broadcaster and analyst Simon Jordan highlighted the extraordinary consistency and durability of Canelo Alvarez's career. He reminded audiences that from the time Canelo exploded onto the professional scene as a teenager to becoming one of the sport's most reliable pay-per-view attractions, he has carried immense expectations and delivered again and again. Jordan stressed how rare it is for a fighter to remain at the absolute top level for more than a decade, yet Canelo has managed to do so across several weight divisions. The fight itself echoed those remarks, his sharp ring IQ, his composure in high-pressure moments, and his ability to seize on even the smallest mistakes reaffirmed why he stands among the greatest of his generation. Each adjustment he made inside the ring spoke to the wealth of experience he possesses, experience that very few opponents could hope to match. Even as new champions continued to rise, Jordan's perspective underscored how unique Canelo's longevity truly is, showing that sustaining dominance against larger, younger, and hungrier fighters is an achievement few in the sport ever reach. In that sense, this fight further cemented his legacy not only as a champion, but as a generational icon in boxing.
For himself, you see, he's been around a long time, 20 years as a pro, and he's beat some of the best fighters out there for sure. I think that Paulie there is referring to him avoiding Benavidez, the fight that everyone's wanted to see and wanted to make. He's been picking and choosing his own opponents, and yeah, he has had some easy options. And he gets an opportunity to go in against Terence Crawford, or Terence Crawford gets the opportunity to go against him. Look, whatever way you want to look at it, I think that you cannot deny how good Canelo has been. He has adapted, he's had to adjust. He now, he stalks forward, he hunts his prey, but he single shots to the body, single shots to the head, and that's why I think timing for Terence Crawford here could be
Duke, me and Spencer have got Terence Crawford. How do you think this fight is won and lost?
Yeah, I think this fight is won for Crawford by sticking to his boxing, which he does beautifully. From the outset, I thought Crawford would win this fight, simply because he's a great boxer, right? He switches from left to right effortlessly. He's a good stayer. He's got that spite that you need as a champion. What he's done has been done before, albeit, many moons ago with Sugar Ray Leonard, when he moved up and boxed Donnie Lalonde from welterweight to super middleweight, but he stopped off in between that and boxed Marvelous Marvin Hagler. So that's probably a harder route even still, but I feel that it's a stone difference. It's not really that much, not when you look at the bigger picture. A stone in weight is a lot of weight, of course it is. And sometimes you don't even want to give away a pound in weight, but the fact that he's putting on a stone of pure muscle.
UFC President Dana White, speaking both as a promoter and a passionate fight fan, described the showdown as the biggest boxing match of the modern era. With 65,000 tickets sold, the atmosphere inside the arena was electric, charged with anticipation. White called it a war rather than just a fight, and the action inside the ring fully justified that description. Every exchange was met with thunderous cheers as the two fighters delivered a contest that felt monumental from the opening bell to the final round. The magnitude of the night underscored its significance as far more than a championship bout. It became a cultural moment, one destined to be remembered in boxing history.
65,000 people are coming into this fight live. Who knows how many are going to tune in around the world on Netflix, but what I want is when it's over, everybody turns off the TV or walks out of the arena and goes, I'm so glad I came to this fight.
That was a war.
I mean, I could sit here for an hour and break down the fight, both ways for both guys. But what I truly believe is because Crawford's moving up in weight and this legacy thing is so important to him, he's going to come at Canelo. And you know how Canelo is as a counterpuncher and hits hard, and I think it's going to be a war.
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult reflected on the sparring footage between Canelo Alvarez and rising welterweight star Jaron "Boots" Ennis that surfaced in the build-up to the fight. Though only short clips were released, those exchanges have taken on historical weight in light of Canelo's performance under the bright lights. The sessions were viewed not merely as practice, but as a proving ground where Canelo sharpened himself against one of the sport's most explosive young talents. Even in brief glimpses, the footage revealed the intensity and precision he carried into camp. Ennis, widely regarded as one of the most dangerous rising fighters, pushed Canelo with the kind of resistance that only enhanced his readiness for the main event. After the bout ended, many fans and analysts revisited those clips, interpreting them in a new way. They became part of the broader narrative of how Canelo fine-tuned himself for a fight billed as one of the defining contests of the modern era. In hindsight, that sparring session has been etched into boxing lore as a rare and invaluable glimpse into greatness.
And so Canelo Alvarez, all right? And looking at the footage we have, they show their feet. They don't really show much, and that's good, right? Whatever happens in sparring stays in sparring. You don't want too much revealed. But I think, you can pull something from the footage. Like, post-sparring session, you could just see how friendly Canelo Alvarez and Boots Ennis are.
Yeah, thank you. Almost there. Yeah, almost time. Yeah.
It's mutual respect. You can just see, and it just feels like Boots gave Canelo some good work. I think if Boots didn't, I think Canelo wouldn't respect him as much. I think Canelo would be like, get out of here. I mean, they couldn't even leave the gym. They kept saying bye to each other over and over and over again like it was a bromance.
Got my piece. Who say he needs some rounds? Huh? Who? Yeah, see, I'll come back and get some work. Oh, yeah. You know what? I see you tomorrow.
And more, if they are scared, they go faster. If they are scared, more faster.
Bro, you know what that is. You know what that is. It's like if somebody whipped your ass and like, all right, there, boy. What? What, wait.
Former super middleweight champion Caleb Plant, who had previously shared the ring with Canelo, spoke highly of Terence Crawford in the lead-up to the fight. Plant described Crawford as exceptionally strong and powerful, a statement the bout would go on to confirm. Crawford's punches carried genuine weight even at the higher division, and his physical presence prevented Canelo from simply walking him down. Observers pointed out that Crawford's mix of sharp precision and surprising strength forced one of the most durable fighters of this generation to respect his power throughout the contest.
I think, if I was able to give my advice to Terence, it would be, I think that he should box on the outside, or I think he should be all the way inside.
Wait, all the way inside? That would sound like, no, you don't want to be on the inside because like Canelo could land body shots.
Yeah, but Terence is a great inside fighter. He's ridiculously strong. And I think the most dangerous place for Terence to be would be in the mid-range, chilling this far from Canelo, at this distance, where Canelo is able to get a lot of leverage and be really explosive, as opposed to what I did to Trevor McCumbee, where I stepped all the way to the inside. And, do you want to be this far away from a baseball bat, or do you want to be this far away from a baseball bat?
This here,
exactly.
They can't extend.
They can't gain the same momentum. And just fighting on the outside, sticking, moving, running around, moving around, using his legs for 12 rounds could be a lot. Where, as opposed to him being smart on the outside and moving, and then picking his times and getting all the way to the inside and going to work, and then going all the way back out, all the way back in, all the way back out. But I think chilling at the mid-range with Canelo could be dangerous.
Veteran boxer Gabriel Rosado cautioned before the fight that Crawford would have to be extremely careful against Canelo. Considering the Mexican star's long history of facing naturally bigger opponents, that warning proved accurate once the action began. Canelo's ease against larger fighters showed as he absorbed punches with composure and fired back with punishing counters. For Crawford, the task was finding ways to navigate that experience while still making his presence felt. Rosado's remarks highlighted the razor-thin margins in a clash where size, skill, and strategy all converged under the brightest lights.
He's adapted to the weight. It's his natural weight. You know what I'm saying? So, Crawford got to be real careful in the middle rounds.
And I've heard you say this before, look, it doesn't matter if you're sparring with heavyweights in sparring.
Yeah.
If you're sparring with 68-pounders, 75-pounders in sparring. When you get clocked with them 10 ounces with no headgear on, it's a different game, a different story. Drop down on that for us for a second. What is so different about it? Is it just a jolt? Is it a shock? What's the difference?
It's different just because it's just the pop. You know what I'm saying? When you're sparring heavier guys, it really, it means something, but it's 16-ounce gloves and it's a headgear. So it's not the same effect. But, you know what I'm saying? And Crawford and Canelo being the same size right now and the same height, people go, oh, well, it's even.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.